Okay, we're going to make a start. So the recording has started. So welcome everybody. This is the session for the Bachelor of Media and Communication. So I'm assuming you're all in the right place. As we said, we have quite a few students that are starting. Not everybody's coming to the orientation. And as it's going to be recorded, people can also watch this later. So first, we want to acknowledge that we are on Aboriginal land and we pay our respects to elders past, present, and emerging. The point of this session is really to see whether you have any questions, right? And I'm assuming you're all beginning just now, right? So you might have questions about the degree or about enrolling or about what the university offers, right? So it's kind of your opportunity to discuss these matters. So I open it up to you to just say something about yourselves, like your names, where you're from, like have you just finished school, or have you studied something else before, or have you come from working, and why did you pick this degree? So let's take it in turn.
Well, I'm Amelia. I did a Bachelor of Secondary Education last year, so I'm coming from that. Wanting to try something new. Do I answer the second one as well? Something to want to achieve.
Yeah, anything that you want to say. Why did you enroll for the media and communication? Was there a specific reason?
More so to try something different, because what I've realized is I have had my heart set on teaching since I was like 10, and then all of a sudden like things changed, and I was like, oh, I want a new direction in life. I want to try something new. And when I was looking at like the information provided about the course, it just really sparked my interest. Just seemed interesting, wanting to know more.
So you did find out more about it, and
I looked at the videos and all the past students
right.
the course, and that really sparked my interest.
Okay, good, Emilia, right?
I'm Morgan. I just graduated high school last year, so coming straight into this. And I chose this course because I thought it looked really interesting, and I like, business and marketing, like the idea of doing that. But I also am very artsy, so I like that you can kind of incorporate that as well into it, because I've always liked like music and performing, so design. So I like that you could also do that in the course as well. Yeah, that's basically it.
Okay.
I'm Asher. I was graduated last year as well from City College. It's like a sports school. I did the basketball bit. What do I want to achieve? A lot of things, but I'd say just like mostly learn the professional side of like, I guess, media and stuff. I want to work in sports media. Yeah, I guess that's.
So are you doing a joint degree with the sports and health?
No. I'm just doing this, and then I'll just do sports stuff on the side. So
Oh, okay,
yeah.
right. Because we do have some students that do a joint degree, but it takes longer, yeah. With sports, but it would take 4 years instead of 3 years full time. But you can apply, of course, everything that we do here. You don't need to do specifically kind of sports.
See how I go. See how this goes. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm Jamie. I graduated last year as well, and I knew someone who did this degree, so I thought it'd be really cool. So I just thought they're in like public relations or whatever.
Who did you know?
One of my friends' older sister from calisthenics, so like quite.
What's her name?
I'm not sure. Like I just know her. I know.
Oh, okay. Because I tend to know most of the students.
Yeah. And she said apparently she said it was really good, and yeah, she's in event management and chaplains for that as well. So,
yeah, we do have some students that. So the degree is relatively new, right? We started it in 2016. So we have already some graduates, some people that completed the degree. And they all have some pretty good jobs, like public relations kind of jobs, or in entrepreneurship, management, in sports journalism areas. So if that's your interest, then you are at the right place. To introduce myself, I'm Sky Marson. I coordinate the whole degree. I'm what they call the degree coordinator or the course coordinator. And I also teach a few of the topics within the degree. So my own background is in business and organizational communication, public relations. And this is Aidan, who is just about to finish. So he's a good person to talk to if you want a background on the degree. And he's the course representative. So we have student representatives that are for the whole course that kind of deal with or communicate with all year students.
I help represent you guys to Sky and to help coordinate, explain and represent Sky to you guys and be able to walk through sort of things.
And you also have some stuff that you organized. You still have that website.
Yes.
Yeah, you might want to tell them.
Discord server for those of you that are wanting somewhere to like meet with other media and communication students and to talk to them and walk through sort of what assignments and just a place where we can all gather together, figure out what's happening or communicate or organize things. So I think we've also got a Facebook group as well. That's a little older. We haven't quite kept that as up to date. But that's somewhere else that you can find some of the stuff that we're up to.
So we do encourage people to form a community around the degree. So if you have any other ideas, or if you want to organize something with other media and communication students, you're more than welcome to do so. And I will help you as much as possible in that. So do let me know if you have any ideas about activities or events, or if you're doing something that's related to the degree and you want to publicize it, to let other students know about it. Because the whole point, since it is a communication degree, is to learn different ways to communicate and to learn the value of communicating and adapting communication for different purposes and for different audiences. And this is all part of the subject that we're doing. And so you kind of can apply that to your own life and what you do in your kind of everyday activities. Is there anything that stands out about your, because Aidan is just about to finishing this year, right? Anything that stands out that you think people beginning should know?
Whoa.
Yeah. It doesn't matter if it's a warning. I'm fine with warnings if you want to.
One thing that studying communication is really fascinating because it changes the way that you look at slightly everything. The way that people talk, the way that we talk about things, what we say, all that. So it's really fascinating. So just be prepared to come away from some of your classes going, whoa, everything is different, everything is new. It's really fun.
Well, that's the point, isn't it? You're learning new things. So if you're not learning any new things, then that would be a danger, wouldn't it? You'd be thinking, what am I doing here? No, we don't have any online people. And this is Lisa Harrison, who is actually one of your instructors in some of the topics within the degree. So and her specialty is digital media.
Yeah.
So she teaches a first year, so you will meet her in the second semester in the digital, what is it called? Digital media and digital and social media, COMS 1004. Yeah. Okay, good. So these are some of the things to kind of keep in mind about your experience here. So the teaching at university, you have different ways that you're going to do this. So some classes are face-to-face, some other ones are online, and you should be able to see that when you're looking at the description of your topic. So each subject you study, we call it topic. Right? So the course is the bachelor, the whole degree is called the course, and the different subjects, we call them topics. So some are online, some are face-to-face. You will notice that some have got a lecture and a tutorial, and some don't have a lecture and they just have a workshop or seminar. So there are different organizations that you have within the classes. It just depends on the content of each topic and how it's best delivered and how you can kind of participate more efficiently. But it's good to notice these things, like, you know, what's involved in this topic. Do I have lectures and tutorials, or is it just one workshop? Is it online? If it's a lecture, all lectures are recorded, but it's good to attend as well, because you get the chance to talk with people. And then if it's a lecture and tutorials would be face-to-face, and the lecture would be recorded. So just sort of familiarize yourself with how each topic is delivered. And the people that you will be in touch with. So the professional staff is admin people, right? So the people that help you enroll in your, like, student advisors, right? And people in the college front, for example, the secretarial, administrative staff. So when you put in a request that Ask Flinders, for example, that would go to a professional person who will then decide who to send it to. Academic people, so the two of us are academic, so they are your teachers, basically, people who teach and do research in the different subjects in the degree. We have a number of support services, so we have learning support, so if you want to get some advice on assignments, or counseling type services. So we will talk about that a bit later, the different kinds of support services. So it's good during the beginning of the semester that you find out about things like that, so that when you actually, or if you actually need these later on, you know exactly where to go and what to do. And of course, peers, right? Other students. And as we said, we try to create a community around people studying the degree. And you can always tell us if you've got new ideas about this or if something is not working properly. So feedback is always appreciated. So your course, I think you all know what you'll be studying, but I have this here for you. This is also online, so you probably would have seen it. Here, you can have one as well. So what you see here is the 3 years. So I'm assuming that you're studying full-time. So full-time, it's 3 years. But you can, of course, study part-time as well. We have now 2 campuses. So this is the Bedford Park one, but we have a brand new campus in the city at Festival Plaza, just next door to the railway station, or North Terrace. And eventually we will be moving the degree there. So like starting from next year, all new students that enroll would be studying there. So you can decide to complete your degree on this campus, or if you decide you want to study in the city, you can also transfer to that as well. So you have an option and location. So the way that the degree was organized, the kind of the philosophy behind it, is to bring together 3 different strands. So one strand is the principles of communication, like communication theory, the history of communication, the organizational kind of professional communication, strategic communication, and the kind of theoretical principled aspect. That's one strand. The other one is the creative digital media. strand. So you do topics on graphic design and interaction design, multimedia. And the third one is business and entrepreneurship. So you do topics in marketing and kind of consumer relations and business type principles. And you do a bit of each of these, which gives you a lot of flexibility, right? Because all of these skills are very important. And this degree is one of the most flexible ones because you can apply the skills onto a great variety of professions and careers and so forth. So they're kind of specifically targeted for this flexibility. But you can also specialize in one of these strands. So you might decide that, oh, well, you know, I want to do more business kind of stuff, more marketing, business administration, and stuff like that. So you have each year, you have a couple of options. That means that you choose. And we have some suggestions of what options you can choose from at the back. But this is very flexible, so if you don't like any of these, you can choose other ones, right? So your options really are very flexible. The core ones are the ones that are listed on that handout. That means you have to do these to graduate. But your options, then you can decide to specialize in one of these strands, or you can continue doing bits and pieces. Aidan, do you want to add anything? Like, do you want to say anything about what options you chose and any advice?
Yeah, I was just looking at a few of them. Some of them aren't on, some of the mock classes that I did aren't on here. There's a culture one that I did that was fantastic. But yeah, I have a little bit more of an interest in philosophy, so I took the critical reasoning and the ethics for professionals, and both really enjoyed those. One that I can really recommend is in the third year, leadership in business and society. I found that to be really, really fill me with confidence in just sort of operating in leadership and how to be a good follower and a good leader just in life as well as in this context. But yeah, there's a lot of range and a lot of diversity in these. So yeah, you can chase down what you want, but yeah, philosophy and leadership, I enjoyed those.
Any questions about these? So Lisa teaches the Comms 1004, the digital and social media.
Maybe we could ask what direction they want to go in.
Yeah, we did at the beginning. We talked. Yeah. I think that from what you said, you know, you got enough here to pick stuff that would be relevant to you. Okay, so if you haven't already, this is your next step, is to actually enroll. And you really have two things to keep in mind. One is you pick the topics. You were already probably enrolled automatically in the core topics that you have to take, right? So make sure that you check and see that you are enrolled in these. But just being enrolled in a topic is not enough. You also need to see whether you have to register for any classes. So sometimes there are options, especially for the larger topics. You have different tutorial groups that you can choose. And you actually register for the one that you want to. This tells you how to do that. I'm assuming you all know, because you look as if you know, but you can always take a photo of that if you don't know and you want this to guide you. But any questions about this? No, okay. Wi-Fi, so that's the other thing. So everybody at Flinders has a FAN, which is basically a number. It's an Flinders authentication number, right? So it just is like your ID. And that gives you access to email. So make sure that you check your Flinders email, right? Because your teachers and instructors and everybody will be communicating with you through that. If we post an announcement on the topic site, website, it will go directly to your email. So make a habit to check your Flinders email every day. And always good to keep the information on the supports in case something goes wrong with your access to your website or to your topic sites or your email. I'm so assuming everybody has an ID card? Or, yeah, any problems with that? You kind of know what to do to get one if you don't have one? Who doesn't have one yet? Oh, okay, so most of you don't, but you know how to get one.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Can you just go to the help place and just ask for one and they take a picture and you just like
Yeah,
get it?
Flinders Connect in the library.
Yeah, you can turn up there, yes.
I only started this year as well, so I'm still getting used to everything that goes on. But yeah, it was a really quick process.
Yeah, that's what makes sense.
Yeah.
And then you want to re-register it each year so that it's still good for the rest of the semester.
I didn't know that.
And so what we've got here is just some advice on the first 3 weeks, like some stuff to kind of keep in mind of what you need to have. So attending orientation like this one is always a good idea because at least you get to meet people if nothing else, and you might get some useful information as well. Make sure you have an ID card. Make sure that you're enrolled in the right place. This is going to slam? No, I think it's going to close gently. Make sure you don't have, sometimes, unfortunately, there's a clash, especially if you are studying a topic that has different tutorial times and you pick a time that you think suits you, but then you realize that, in fact, there's another topic at that time. Yeah, so make sure that you check your timetable. If you want to have after-hours access, you can, but you've got to request it.
That'd be with security, which is next to
Underneath the library.
Yeah. They just, hey, can I have after-hours access? You give them your card, which will have your number on it, and then they'll plug you in so you can get access to just uni after-hours.
Right? And make sure that you know Flow. Flow is the Flinders Learning Online. That's what it stands for, Flinders Learning Online. So it's all the sites of your topics. So we're using Canvas as the learning system, but we refer to it as Flow, Flinders Learning Online. So have you looked at that? Right. So starting from this week, you have access to all the topics you're enrolled in. So all your topics would have a site. So make sure you have a look through that. You should find there a topic guide, for example, and information about the teachers and any books that you might need to get or reading material. So everything would be there. Any questions about that? Any problems accessing?
Just with the like clashes with the timetable, like all of my classes are like straight after one another. Do they give you time to go from place to place? Okay, cool.
Yeah, so the lectures and things will end at 10 minutes to the hour, so 10:50, 9:50, whatever. So
Okay.
you've got those 10 minutes to book it from humanities up to education or
Yeah,
from
yeah.
wherever
Okay.
you're going to the
Thanks.
next place.
Yeah, sometimes it's a bit of a rush going from one place to the other. That
like
gives you
every
some exercise.
But
And are they
Out of the way.
yeah, exactly.
are they far from each other, or did you?
I'm not too
Yeah.
sure yet.
Yeah. So that's the other thing is to
starting straight as it is finishing.
yeah, Yes, there's always a kind of a 10-minute gap. But do have a look at because it's a big campus, right? So have a look at the map and make sure you kind of know where your classes are. It just takes the stress out of the last minute trying to find things.
Also, download the app whilst on campus. It's really helpful.
That's how I do all my classes I did last year.
Yeah.
So helpful.
Yeah. It helps you find the room. It doesn't necessarily help you figure out how to get to it. That's one of the
That's part of
problems.
the journey.
Yeah.
People stare at you wandering everywhere.
Where am I going? Where's room 138?
Yeah. The good thing is most people are in the same situation, so. Including me.
And here's some more advice on what you might want to do each. I've only got the first 3 weeks. After that, you all be initiated and you all know everything really well. But just to give you some ideas, like a checklist of what you could do for the first 3 weeks. So make sure you go to your first classes. The first classes are always important, yeah, because that's where you get the vibe of the class, and you contribute to the vibe of the class as well, so it's good to be there. If you want to have an access plan is if you need some support with something. So for example, if someone is perhaps, I don't know, dyslexic or needs more time with assignments or some other issue, they would get an access plan. That means you go to the counseling services and you discuss the issue with them. And then they will give you the access plan, which is an online document that you then have to send to your topic coordinator and say, look, I've got this access plan, so they know what to do. And you should do that right at the beginning. So the rest, of course, they're just kind of common sense things, knowing your schedule and the campus. And also the first week we have the Connect Week events, which I'll show you in a moment. So there's kind of lots of things happening. Take advantage of this because during the rest of the year, there's not a lot happening, right? So the first couple of weeks, you have a lot of stuff happening. So like become member of associations, for example. That's always a good idea. Even if you think that you won't participate or you can't find anything that you're really interested in, just think outside the square, right? Just pick something perhaps that you've never done before. Try something new. And you never know, that could lead to a kind of a new way of thinking or new hobby or, right, a new interest. Yeah, new friends. Yeah, and so take advantage of this first couple of weeks when everybody's around and all the associations of tables and exhibitions, and so go around and look at all of these. Yeah, then free stuff. Yeah, and be adventurous and explore. This also helps you with your study, right? Because interacting and communicating and seeing how things are organized, these are stuff that you study also in your degree. So start to look at how this is done in the world and what could be done better and what's done really well, because all of that will help you to get into the spirit of the degree. So week 2, this is just again some ideas of what you could do. So a little bit more, so perhaps check out the student learning services, check out the library. The library is going to be organizing tours in the first couple of weeks. So book a tour and go and have a look at the library. I mean, being at a university, the library is actually important. Even if you end up not going there a lot, it's still part of the identity of the university, right? So it's good to know it.
It's also a very helpful resource when writing essays and things, because it often has copies of articles, or can give you copies, access to articles that you might need for journals and things like that you can get access to and use in your writing. So it's a really helpful resource.
Yeah, and the librarians are very nice as well, so get to know a few of those as well. You will be doing some topics that have particular kind of software. You do stuff with Adobe, right? And so do you get access to that for home use, or do you have to do that at the...
I think you can. Yeah. Yes, you get access to the Adobe Suite as well. As you go further into visual entertainment and design, you'll be using bigger programs. I think we're looking at Unreal Engine 5 this semester. So that's
Cool.
yeah. I'm looking forward to it. But it is a beefy program, so you'll be able to get those. The computers on campus also have those programs as well, which is why after hours access can be really helpful. Because instead of having to download it onto whatever laptop you've got, you can just use the really powerful computers that they've got here that can run it just smooth, butter smooth. It's amazing.
Yeah, that's all for your kind of multimedia and graphic design topics where you use this software. Week 3, you might have some first assessments coming up. And various other bits and pieces that you could do. So keep in mind that, you know, by week 3 you'll know if you have any problems. So make sure you have solved all your problems by then, because they become bigger and bigger if you don't kind of solve them. And you will know the kind of people that you can contact, right? You will probably know some people in the library and the support services and in the college admin, and right? And so make sure that you communicate with them and ask questions. And everybody here appreciates feedback. So we like that. So don't think that you're imposing. So these are your first 3 weeks, just some ideas. Some of us are support services, so you probably might already know that we've got health and counseling services, and you can check these online, and that's their phone number and email. So you for health reasons or mental health, disability stuff, there's very good services. So it's good to kind of keep them in mind, even if you don't think that you're going to need them now. Just make a note of their numbers, and yeah, because you know everybody needs a doctor from time to time. Have you ever been to the health services here?
No, I haven't actually.
Actually, I have. I go to the doctor here. Yeah. So, yeah.
I'm going to be honest, it wasn't until last year that I realized that we had a doctor on campus.
Yeah. And they're free, so.
Where is it?
It's, you know where the gym is?
Yes.
Yeah, well, it's next door to that.
Okay.
Right.
Down near the bus depot, you've got all the stops. It's just further down that.
Yeah, so the gym is there. I don't know whether people know where that is. Not that I sound as if I go there. I never go there, but I know where it is, though. So yeah, it's where the buses are. There's a kind of a downhill road, right? And at the bottom of that, you have the gym, and then next to that is the services, the health, and also Aboriginal services and stuff are there. The Ugarendi and the health.
We've also got a pharmacy along with a few other restaurants and things.
Yeah,
where you can
post
just get that simple amenities sort of thing. Useful thing.
Mm-hmm. And we have also a student well-being center, Oasis, which is just down there, right? Am I showing the right way? Yeah. It's where you probably saw that cafe that we have here called Bon Voyage. Well, it's just straight. If you go straight down, you will see the Oasis sign. And that's where they do things like yoga, right, and meditation. And you can also book a room if you want. They've got prayer rooms and things like that. Do you go there at all?
No, actually, I haven't been there in a little while.
Yeah, well, it's worth kind of checking it out, right? Just going and seeing what is there, right? you have a workshop there, right? So
Yeah,
sometimes
last
they,
night,
they
yeah.
sometimes there are events there as well.
And they've even got where you can some boxes of stationery where you can swap stuff or clothes, and so if you need a little bit of help in that direction as well, yeah.
I'm trying to remember. Somewhere does either free food or really cheap food. In
That's
They
Oasis.
do
Oasis,
Yeah.
coffee.
The
yeah.
Flinders Community Market Thursday mornings.
Yeah.
So
That's in
yeah.
Oasis, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think so. So if you're struggling and you've only been eating 2-minute noodles, you can get some stuff there really often.
Mm.
It's opposite the humanities car park. Might be easier.
There's a good sign.
And I don't think anybody here is an international student, because we also have international student services. That's for international students who, of course, have got other issues like language and being homesick and finances and all of that kind of stuff. But if you're not international, then that wouldn't go for you.
Might not be quite as useful.
Yeah. But it's good to know, because you might have some international student friends, and you might tell them maybe they don't know, so you could always advise them that this exists. Scholarships, so do check that out. So there is some money for various things available. It tends to vary from year to year, but that's the financial assistance kind of area. You know anything about them? No, yeah. So but just check it out if you want to find out what kind of scholarships there are. Sometimes there's work in the summer that you can do, some work like a research assistant type work, and you get paid for it, or you might initiate some kind of project that requires funding. So that will tell you all about this section. And finally, last but not least, safety concerns. So it's good to have the number of the security people. And there's all this kind of information about safety or harassment and so forth.
There's intercoms around the buildings that you can press that I think go straight to security. I think in a few classrooms as well, there's also a old handset phone that may or may not go to. I know we've got intercoms. That sounds like. Yeah.
Yeah, or if you have your phone, you can also just call them.
Oh, yeah, that's also.
Yeah, I think in most cases you would be carrying your phone, but yeah, there are kind of intercom or other ways. And there's people kind of walking around, right? And I don't think that any of you would be here late at night. We don't really have classes late. So hopefully you're not going to need them. And if you get locked out of somewhere, it's usually we get locked out, so we have to call the instructors if we can't get into a classroom. Okay, and then so my last thing really is about Connect Week, which is basically your first week. It's called Connect Week. That's when the next week, when the classes start, week 1. So take advantage of that because there's lots of stuff happening. So if you check the orientation website, there's a quiz night and fairs and various live music and clubs that are very big. That photo is taken during Connect Week. So do take the time to spend some time around then and meet people and see what's available.
Can confirm quiz night at the tab is a lot of fun. Definitely do go if you get an opportunity. Get a couple of friends. I think first through third place get a voucher for food or drink or something. So you do win something, but
You know the tavern, right? Yeah? Right. So, yeah, that probably you should know that, yeah. So they have a lot of events there as well, during the semester as well, not just in Connect Week.
Quiz night is weekly on Wednesdays, so that's also.
What time is it? Is it still, I don't know whether they're going to have the same.
Yeah, I think it's from 6 o'clock, maybe?
6.
I was not the one that organised, I just rocked up. But yeah, it was about 5, 6-ish. 6, I think. 6 or 6:30 starts, I think.
You might also decide that you want to organize something, right? You might want to start a club. So really, the people to talk to is the Student Association, FUSA, Flinders University Student Association. They're your association, right? They're run by students, for students. So if you have any ideas, if you look at what clubs exist, but you think, oh, there's no club for, I don't know, stamp collecting or something like that, and that's what I'm interested in, then you might want to start your own. Yeah, so try to be active, not just kind of like passive, right? Consumers, be energetic and active, and that will work to your advantage. And the person who just sneaked in is Joe Willis. And so she's a student advisor. So if you want to enroll or have problems enrolling in any topic, or what else can you help them with?
Sure. My name's Jo Willis, and I work in the Humanities Building, and I'm on level 2, so up the stairs. And you can ask for me at the college front office. You can pop up and see if I'm free, or you can make a time. And you can also submit an Ask Flinders request, which possibly has been covered on one of your slides already. You might have questions for me like, I want to study part-time, not full-time, so which topic should I choose first? Perhaps you've studied at another institution and you think maybe you can get credit. Perhaps you're looking at doing some overseas study and if that can count towards your degree. Perhaps you want to maybe choose something different for an option topic that's not on your study plan. And you think, I'd really like to do this topic and see if I can count that towards my degree. So those are the sorts of questions that I can help you with. But the Ask Flinders system is always a perfect place to start with a question, and we get all sorts of questions. So always please just ask, and we'll always be happy to get through and help you out. So I think that's probably it.
Yeah, any questions? I think everybody's already enrolled, and so nobody had any,
Yeah, great.
so no problems with that, right?
Yeah, that's good. If you come across anything down the track, maybe for semester 2 or in the following years, just submit the Ask Flinders request.
Okay, good. And then the final thing really is the dates. So make sure that deadlines are important, right? For university study, like in professional world. So deadlines. So keep your dates in mind. So you're going to get deadline for assignments. So make sure you meet these. It's a good habit to get into meeting deadlines. And of course, there's some things here that you definitely have to do by particular days. So this is like for this semester, this coming semester, your last day to enroll is the 8th of March, so you get 2 weeks, and then you can kind of change within these first 2 weeks. And then the census date is the 29th of March. So after that, you can't really make any changes because you just, if you haven't withdrawn from a topic, but you're not attending it, you'll just fail it, right? If you haven't withdrawn by that date. Anything else about dates, Joe?
Look, I mean, sometimes a student might start with their 4 standard topics, and maybe you've got work commitments, family, etc., and it gets a little bit too much. You think, I'm not going to make it through this topic, I just can't commit to all 4 topics. Just come and check in with us. We can talk you through that process depending where you're at with the time and the deadlines, etc. And we can make a recommendation stressing out at home alone, thinking I don't know what to do, I'll just won't hand anything up and I'll, find myself in a bit of trouble. So just come and ask. But yeah, it is important to keep those dates in mind. But the university will be sending you reminders all the time on emails. So just keep an eye on those emails as well. If you consider your study load all the time and think, am I coping with these 4 subjects? I'm doing okay, no problem. If you're having any issues, you can always talk to your topic coordinator or again come and talk to me.
Is anybody here studying part-time? No, you're a full-time student, so you're all doing 4 topics, right? You're not?
I've got credit from last year. It took over one of them.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So that's really the information that I have for you. So any questions or comments or anything you want to know more about?
Can I just also just
Of course.
So the topic that I teach next semester is entirely online as well. So just be aware of that. It's one that you can actually work around your schedule and working and things like that. So it's asynchronous. It's called asynchronous. So there will be some optional workshops where you can jump online with me and we'll work through the content. But just keep that in mind as you're working through this first semester and understanding your learning patterns and behaviours and the best way you learn. And if you're finding totally online difficult, reach out as well because it's quite different for if you haven't done it before.
Yeah, so if you haven't already, that's the first thing to do is to look at all the topics you're doing and find out if they've got lectures and tutorials and if they're online or face-to-face and all of those things so that you kind of know how to schedule them in your timetable. Because it's not just the time that you're going to be in class, you also need to give some time to study for each of these, right? So you need to make your own timetable and say, okay, this day will be blocked out for these topics and this one for other topics. So try different ways of organizing your time, something that kind of works well with you. Time management is one of the most important skills in life in general, not just as a student, but definitely as a student. And it's sometimes underestimated. Yeah, so people that, in my experience, people that have problems along their study get stuck or end up feeling overwhelmed and so forth. It's because of time management. So if you, right from the start, you know what hours and when you will study a particular subject, then it becomes routine and it's much easier to control. Any advice on that, Aidan?
In terms of dates?
Or time management?
Time management, yeah. Don't do things the night before. No. Yeah, keep up to date on the dates. Make sure you've got time to work and time to get things done. But also, do remember to give yourself time to relax. With a lot of the assignments, because we're told that all of the assignments that we can do at the start, there can be a little bit of pressure to always be doing something. There's always that, I've got to work on this assignment, got to work on that assignment. You can't, or got to do that reading, I've got to watch that lecture again, I've got to redo those notes. Give yourself a little bit of time to go, no, I'm going to rest, relax, I'm going to do something that I enjoy. Still do the things, don't say that rest is all you do once you get home. My dad keeps telling me this is the job that you're doing at the moment. But yeah, you can still do the work and get that done, but also you can give yourself a little bit of time and space every now and then. So sometimes it's easy to rest and then get on with the work than just cruise straight through and get the work done.
So I think that we will leave the kind of the formal stuff now, and we'll still stand here or sit around for a little while if you want to just talk to us about anything, about any questions, or if you want to kind of individually talk to us.
No dumb questions.